Hey, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our amazing journey into understanding just a little bit more of this ancient language. And this ancient language is logographical, so a lot of visuals. And from those visuals and combination of those visuals, meanings are made. 语音绕梁 was what we talked about yesterday, August 4th, 2022. Okay, and so it talks about the music. It's so good. You still hear it in your mind for 3 days after, as if the remaining sound, here we use extra, means remaining sound are going to, or the remaining music, going to wrap around the beam. So it's invisible, but it's in your mind, in your space. It's still wrapping. Okay, we're going to do 五音不全. So the opposite meaning today, actually. So yesterday the music's so good, and today the music is not that, perfect. Okay, let's see what that means. Okay, number 5. Okay, this is the second time I talk about the number 5 in the program. It still amazes me when I see how this number 5 came from, because its written form is kind of weird, right? Kind of odd. Because, okay, we start from 1, 2, 3. And when it becomes 4, it's too complicated to write 4 horizontal lines, right? So this 3 horizontal lines up to there are our first 3-digit expression. Visually, makes sense. And number 4, we use the 4 vertically and blocks it in. That's our number 4. But number 5 is like open-ended, something so abstract. But when I see the original form of this, makes perfect sense. We have the top and the bottom and an X in the middle. It looks like Roman number 10, right? That's the number 10 symbol, but that's our number 5 symbol, okay? Because here's the reason. The top is the heaven, the bottom is the earth, and then you have the cross in the middle to mean the exact middle point between the two. It's not heaven, it's not earth, it's somewhere in the middle. Philosophically, isn't that expressing the ideal state of being? Like it's heavenly, but something is not that great either. So it's a mixture, it's 50-50. So 50-50, this midpoint here was then used as, okay, number 5, because that's the midpoint. So from early on, Chinese culture used 10-digit, and then the midpoint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the midpoint was used to mean by this cross between the heaven and earth. Okay, in again, the mouth here, the block up tilted corners of mouth, and then the tongue with 2 horizontal lines up tilted connected with a vertical line. That's an indicator to pointing you, okay, look at the mouth, and this is something in there that looks this shape, that means the tongue. And then from the mouth and the tongue, make the sound. These are the sound waves or sound bits over there going further away, diminishing, right? And then within the mouth, there's something sweet. And this horizontal line, it could mean some energy. So keeps new energy coming out of the mouth, or something really sweet that you like to hear more. So it's beyond speaking, it's sweet speaking, it's singing. So singing can be sung by vocally, can be sung by instrumentally. So eventually this got abstracted in this context. If we have number 5 and paired with sound, and that sound actually means the tones of the sound. So that's the starting point of the music, I guess, the tone of the music or the mode of music. I don't exactly know the musical terms in English, but it's the tone, 5 tone. And then we have this negation, no. Again, this is heaven. The top line is heaven. And this is simplified bird image. now I have seen how bird was written. This is not really convincing, but according to stories, this is a bird trying to fly to the heaven, not refusing to go down. So it's kind of saying no to earth, to people, earthlings, that, okay, the bird keeps going up. So that becomes a negation, like no to earth. Can you imagine that? Like why the bird don't want to stay on the ground? But I guess there are some ambitious bird who try to reach the sky limit of it. Okay, so 全, 全 came from this jade trade in China, because jade has a special, precious stones as we know it today is like diamonds is number one, right? It's clear, and there are some 3C or some cut, clarity. I forgot what's the other ones. Carat, right? The weight, the shape, the clarity, the purity of the diamond, right? But that's wholly artificial. Like diamonds are expensive, but it's as natural gemstone, like how precious that is humanly assigned value to it. So back then in Chinese culture, jade was assigned as high esteemed precious stone. So how precious, that's culturally assigned value. So jade back then was used as probably as money, as definitely personal adornment. Use that as a gemstone on your decorations. And the jade trade was a thing back then. So the 3 disc, if you see it like cross-sectionally, not exactly, but top down, you see the 3 beads, kind of flat disc shape, string together. So that 3, we just use 3, that's enough. That's pretty crowd already. Use 3 to mean a string of the discs of jade putting together. And we have this stopper, the end of this stopper or cover to make sure it's not like exposed, it's protected. And then we have the bottom, I regard it as bows to like tie it together so they don't fall apart. So that means it's a full stack of jades forming the full count. I don't know how many, probably 10, or there were some kind of a unit of counting, right? So that's a fully numbered of jade pieces in that protected container, I guess, and then the wrapped together, so it's not loose, so it's well formed, it's complete. Eventually, that means just abstract concept of completion from this jade trade before. So we have 5 tone and it's not complete. What does it mean? It means somebody 五音不全. If we say somebody 五音不全, it means somebody doesn't really have an ear or a good sense of pitch, so they can be off tune easily. So I call it pitch-imperfect. Just a negation of there that, 五音不全 simply means that. And this in is our pitch, right? And we do in Chinese culture have 5 main pitches. C, D, E, G, A. So do, re, mi, sol, la. That's our 5 tones. And amazingly, if you try to play on keyboard or any of the instrument of yours on only these 5 keys, in any sequence you play, they will be harmonious. There's no conflict. There's no jarring sound at all, because these 5 are somewhat figured out to be harmoniously coexisting. Like they can pair between them in any sequence. It will sound good. Try it out. It will sound good. So this pentatonic system existed in East Asian music tradition, and 宫商角徵羽, that's what we call. Wait, where is it? Where? Okay, this is 宫商角徵 I don't know why they're sequencing in this order, but these are the 5 tones. And okay, Chinese come up with all kind of explanation of the world or classification, like 5 major elements from the earth, or 5 major internal organs within you, or 5 major tones. So, or 5 major emotions from you. So here, this GIF file is showing you how Chinese culture are capturing these 5 elements in 5 different subjects. And I'm not going to go details into that. If you are interested, can do some research on how Chinese culture classify different things. But 5 elements, probably that's the best known. We have fire and we have soil. So fire, soil, and metal, water, and plant or wood. So these are the 5 earthly produced naturally, endowed to us for free. I mean, supposedly for free. So these are elements in nature that Chinese recognize, the major 5 big classifications, and maybe there are subcategories and sub, but these are the major 5. It makes sense, right? Back then, there's no plastic as a major category yet. I'm glad ancestors lived in a plastic-free world, but I'm grateful at the same time, 2022, of living with some new materials. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by 1 word a day with Sophie. See you another day.